Happy Friday! Yay! I'm so excited. I love the weekend. Yeah. And I don't care about other entrepreneurs that go, oh yeah, I get so excited for Mondays. I flipping love my weekends. So hopefully everybody has got awesome things planned. I know that I've just accidentally somehow managed to put up a post that says daily sales training that isn't a live stream, so that's awesome. Hopefully you guys will have made it over here to what is actually the daily sales training, where I am actually live. Not really sure what happened with the other posts, so apologies there. So cool. Today I'm going to get into the good stuff nice and early because it's good and it's Friday. Did I mention it's Friday? I'm really excited about it. One reason that I'm kind of super stoked that it's Friday is because I have got a weekend, well, I have a day with Sam tomorrow and we're going out somewhere in the evening, which is going to be awesome, and we're dressing up and it's based on the Thai full moon party and it's just going to be friggin' ace. So hello, Neve. For anybody that doesn't know, Neve has a Facebook group called the Growth Mindset Group, I believe, and I joined it this morning, caught Neve live on Facebook Live, and it was absolutely hilarious, and she wore a wig. So just want to highlight that if anybody's looking for a group about mindset and talking and having a bit of a good giggle, then you want to be heading over to Neve's group. Neve, if you want to post the link in here, feel free. Hey Natalie, yay! Okay, awesome. So today we're talking sales pages, mainly because lots of people came to me and said, yeah, actually sales pages suck, and I really struggle to write them. So today I'm kind of going to give you a few quick fixes for sales pages that you may have already written, and a kind of checklist really of things that you need to be looking at when you're considering your sales page. Then there's going to be some really awesome stuff at the end. I know that there are going to be a few of you that can't stick around, so don't worry about it, but definitely catch the replay because there's some cool stuff going on in the group. Yay, there you go, there's Neve's link. So, sales pages. For those of you that are here, I don't know whether you've got courses, I'm literally reading stuff behind you, so if I'm not looking at you, it's just because I'm looking at the stuff I wrote earlier. Natch. Try and be snazzy over here. So when we're looking at sales pages, a lot of the typical problems that people come to me and say that they struggle with when they write a sales page are things like the structure, are things like knowing what to write, are things like understanding how to write copy that converts, and things that sell. And if any of this resonates with you, if you are somebody that is stuck with a sales page, yay, Neve, catching up with it at the weekend. Yeah, totally do it, and catch up with a webinar as well, because that's awesome. But yeah, so if that's you, if you are one of those people that are struggling with structure, you're one of those people that's struggling with the copy or something specific about your sales page, hit me up in the comments and let me know, because then I can sort of spend a bit more time on those areas. So, cool things about sales pages. What are they designed to do first off? Now, when I usually ask this question, I say to people, oh yeah, what is your sales page supposed to do? They go, oh, sell stuff, like I'm silly. And I suppose it is a bit of a stupid question. Hey Anushka, happy Friday, woohoo! So, when I'm asking people, I'm like, hey, what's your sales page supposed to do? They're like, sell stuff, obvious answer. But actually it's not that obvious. And the reason being is that your sales page isn't really, well, it's there to be like the last barrier between your customer making the purchase. So that point, that tipping point between them deciding that they are a buyer as opposed to a viewer. Okay, the link, Anushka, is for Neve's group. Neve has a really cool group called the Growth Mindset Group, where she was wearing a wig on her Facebook live stream this morning. It made me laugh. It's pretty awesome. So when it comes to your sales page, the actual job of your sales page is designed with the kind of client in mind, but it's designed to just take them over the edge into that tipping point from, oh, I really like this and I think it might be useful, to, oh my goodness, I've got to have this, have my card details and take my money. Okay? Oh, Nishka, I'm sorry to hear that you've still not got the internet. That sucks. Hopefully they'll get it fixed soon. Better be fixed for next week because there's loads of cool stuff coming then. yeah, so that's what your sales page is designed to do. Okay, so remember that your sales page does not take place of any relationship building activity that you might be doing elsewhere online. Okay, so your relationship building activity is key. It's the primary activity for your sales skills and for obviously building your client base. I'm really sorry if the connection's weak today, guys. We've got builders drilling into the side of the house, so the internet's like spotty. But if it gets really crap, then what I'll do is I'll just go outside onto the roof terrace and I'll take you up there and you can see the highlights of Southampton. So in terms of when you're looking at a sales page, it's not the primary relationship building tool, okay? And what that means is that actually these people that come into your sales page in effect should already be warm. Okay, and that actually makes your sales page a lot easier to write because it's kind of cool. If your clients are already warm, if they are, you know, people that are on the fence and thinking, oh, this could be right, as opposed to completely cold traffic that thinks, ugh, you know, no idea who this person is, don't know who they are, why are they talking to me, you're much more likely to convert them into a client. Okay, Lorraine, gonna see if this works in 3D in the car. Amazing. Back home soon. Drive safely. Don't worry, I'll still be live. You know me, I'll talk for ages. But yeah, so in terms of your sales page, that's the point in the process that they're actually coming into. Okay, and so what that means is that when you're writing your sales page, you need to be tailoring it specifically for that person who is at the tipping point rather than that person who is totally cold traffic, because that person who's totally cold traffic, the chances of them buying, particularly if you're talking like high ticket offer, anything over about $500, just off of a sales page, off of a cold sales page with no previous relationship building, it's pretty much like 1%. It's very, very slim, okay? So, in terms of your sales page structure, what do you actually need? And this is where people kind of get a bit stuck, because we get stuck with the structure and we think we get stuck with the writing of it and the copy and everything. And actually, you know, probably unpopularly, if that's a word, I'm going to say, to be honest, sales page writing and the copy for it isn't really too much different than normal copywriting. Now, obviously, there are some buzzwords that you probably want to throw in there, and so the buzzwords that I'll throw in later on, but actually the things that you kind of want to be focusing on are much more around the structure and making sure that with your sales page, you take your potential client on an actual cohesive journey. Okay, so we're going to go through the structure and really, really quickly. We're just going to whiz through and talk about the best structure that you can use for your sales page, the best structure that you can use for it. I don't know whether I'm freezing or not. This is so funny. Yeah. Okay, I think I'm back and I'm speaking normally. We'll hope so. So we're going to talk about the best structure that we can use. Oh no, I'm stuck. Amazing. Thank you, Natalie, for letting me know. I don't know whether I can turn my phone onto 4G or something. For next week, I think what I'm going to do is turn my phone onto 4G, and that way it shouldn't cut out so much, which would be awesome. Okay, cool. So let's whiz through this then. Structure of a sales page. Let's go really basic. First, you need your title. Yes, I know it's crazy, and I know that it sounds really basic, but so many people that I've seen when I've been looking at sales pages recently have not got the title of their course anywhere. And I'm like, oh. And so I go to the page expecting it to be, you know, whatever it is, Exceed Your Expectations. It's one of my programs. And I don't see anything about it apart from like the bottom bit, the button at the end where it says sign up for Exceed Your Expectations. And I'm thinking, well, I don't really, is that what the whole page is about? Like, what's going on? So make sure, it sounds basic, but get your title into your sales page. Yeah, so get your title into your sales page. Awesome. Second thing is, let's look at what your USP is, okay? I know that we talk about USPs quite a lot in the world. I'm just going to, you know, it's around. Yeah, I'm kind of not okay with the connection. It's really, I was going to say a very bad word, but I do. That would be bad. So what I think is, if the connection still stays crap, then that's about the best word I can use in the situation. then I might jump off thing and I will go and like magic it up so that I can have 4G connection instead, and that might be a bit better. But yeah, so header, and does your title need to be at the beginning, or can it be in the text as well? Yeah, totally. Natalie, drop it in everywhere. Like, people should know what they're buying. Yeah? I love it. You know, I like it when people refer to something as a title, because if you're going to give something a title, and especially if your title is awesome, then you want to be sharing it all the time. You know? And again, with your title, what you should be aiming to do is tell people kind of what they're buying in the tin. You know? Some of my programs over the last couple of years have been things like Success Journey Sisters, which was obviously a group program, which is why it had sisters in the title. Taking the Leap, which was a 1 month kickstart program, which obviously kind of like it says is getting into business. I had Exceed Your Expectations, which is a 3-month program. You know, they're all pretty easy to understand what they might be about in the kind of coaching context. So make sure you've got a really cool title that sums that up. Then obviously you want your USP, and that's kind of like, it's kind of like your commitment. It's kind of like you making a commitment to your ideal client right at the beginning about what your course is going to give them. Okay. Now you might see this in the form of, you know, I promise you're going to get XYZ, or you might see it in the form of some kind of well phrased format where they kind of go, do you want to be well adjusted, really healthy, fit, bikini body? Yes, I do, that's me. Do you want to be great at sales? Do you want to be great at, you know, marketing? Do you want to ace webinars, or whatever that might be? And that might be where you see the start of that USP coming along. You will also see people who will use questions to good effect really, and talking about where your client currently is, or where your potential buyer currently is in terms of their journey. Okay, so some of the things that I might use, for example, would be things like, are you stuck? Are you stuck with sales? Do sales make you feel sleazy? Does selling make you feel frustrated? Are you struggling to convert, you know, potential buyers into happy clients? Are you somebody who struggles to book discovery calls? Are you somebody who's putting out a shed load of content but not seeing anything back? And so I might use all of those questions as what I call identifiers, because those identifiers are how people actually recognize themselves within your copy, for example. Okay, and then what you want to do is reassure them after those identifiers and say, hey, do you know what, it's okay if that's you, because you're in the right place. And so very, very often a very common sales page model is the one that will start with the questions, well, obviously with the title, but then start with the questions, and then it will follow, are you X, Y, Z? Are you frustrated? Are you struggling? Are you stuck? Are you paralyzed? Whatever that might be. And then what tends to happen is you have the reassurance of, well, that's okay because you're in the right place. And that's basically the expert saying, it's okay, don't worry about it. Don't worry if you're struggling. Don't worry if you're stuck, if you're frustrated, whatever, because I'm here to help you. Okay, so that's when you give your audience a bit of love. You reassure them. You tell them it's okay that they're stuck right now, because after reading your sales page and after buying your product or service, they're not going to be stuck anymore. Okay, they're going to be totally unstuck, and they're going to be ready for action or ready to achieve whatever it is that you've got set out. Okay. The key thing, you know, and another kind of key thing that people do forget quite often is that actually you do want to be introducing yourself. Yes, okay, like I was saying earlier, you know, a lot of these people should be warm traffic. You know, they should be people who have come to you as a result of being meeting you on social media or meeting you in some kind of other marketing activity, and so they should actually be warm to your ideas and to your training and to the service or product that you are actually selling. Doesn't really give you an excuse or a cop-out not to introduce yourself, okay? And I know that it's hard, but we just worked on elevator pitches, so if there is any good time to get the elevator pitch nailed, and for those of you that already have it nailed, I've seen some amazing ones out and about from Anushka and from Lorraine and from, you know, lots of you. then you need to be writing that elevator pitch on your sales page. You know, you need to be getting that out there, talking about it in the world, and introducing yourself to the people that you actually want to buy from you. Now, there are a few reasons why you continue to introduce yourself even after you've built that warm relationship with people. Simple fact is, giving them that reintroduction, especially on a sales page, is kind of your opportunity to be like, hey, look, I'm awesome. And so that's where you can include some stuff that you may not have been able to tell them previously. So, for example, you know, the key things that I would always make sure you have on a sales page introduction that may differentiate from an elevator pitch would be, you know, have obviously a great picture of you. You know, have a nice headshot, nice and clean, not too like fuzzy or anything. But then also include metrics. You know, how many clients have you helped this year, or what kind of things have you done? What have you invested in yourself to kind of pass on that knowledge to others? You know, use those metrics and show them. One of the things that I always do in my introductions, certainly on my sales pages now, is that I'll write about my corporate sales career. Sorry, give me 2 seconds. I'll write about my corporate sales career. And actually, corporate sales isn't that exciting. Okay, as a career, like, it's great because you can earn loads of money, and I was very fortunate to kind of be able to travel the world with what I was doing, but actually in the job sort of sense, it's kind of dull. You know, no offense if anybody here has been in corporate sales, because I was there for 10 years, so I love it. But, you know, when it comes down to explaining what you do, when it came to introducing myself online, I was like, okay, well, on my sales page, I don't really know what I'm supposed to say. So when I started looking at, okay, well, I need to add in some metrics here, I'd be like, hey, I'm Jess, this is what I do, brief introduction to my business. So I'd be like, yeah, I'm, you know, sales coach, and I help XYZ with XYZ, because my elevator pitch used to be really dull, remember? And then I would talk about the metric-based stuff that I'd actually achieved in my corporate job. Now, that's because I'm in sales, so it's a specific industry, and people who come to me for sales advice, they're probably not going to take that much advice off of somebody they can't see who is actually selling, or who is, you know, not making money, or who hasn't got good client testimonials to kind of back them up. So one of the things that I use in my introduction on my sales pages is that actually I was responsible for growing 7 different business divisions across 7 different countries, over a decade in corporate sales, and I was responsible for making about $4 million a year every single year for the big companies that I was working for. So obviously that's kind of tailored to my background and to what I came from. But let's think about you guys, like, think about the introduction that you want to be putting on your sales page, because that is your opportunity to show them who you work with. It's to reinforce what you can do for them, and it's to actually continue to build that knowledge, like, trust factor that they already have with you. Okay, so even if they're a warm client, they're still going to want to read about the cool stuff that you did, or the cool stuff that you've been doing, you know, and what you can do for them in your intro. Third really basic thing about a sales page, you need to actually tell them what you want to sell them. This is a really key thing, and it's, you know, we see lots and lots of long sales pages that go into lots of depths around the pain point, but it's actually really difficult to get somebody to bring in that offer early, you know. And actually what you should be doing is kind of going, okay, identify the people, you know, or put your title in, identify the people, ask them, you know, if they want their problem solved, tell them briefly how you can potentially solve it, introduce yourself, build up that know, like, trust factor, and then talk about what you're selling to them, okay? Remind them why it's different. Remind them, you know, that this is the one thing that is genuinely going to benefit them, and that is either going to change their health, or their wealth, or their mindset, or their, you know, growth potential, or their business expansion plan, or their strategy, or sales, or whatever. But just remember to tell them what you're selling them in basic kind of terms. So what I mean by that is, you know, don't try and be smart about this. You know, I don't try and use magical metaphors or anything for my sales pages. As far as I'm concerned, if a 7-year-old can understand it, I'm good. Like, if a 7-year-old can understand that I am selling to somebody and that I'm selling them something that's going to help people make more money in their business, Fantastic. Now obviously you want to make it a little bit more jazzy, and you want to, you know, kind of make it look pretty and things like that, but ultimately your sales page isn't there to distract people. And it sounds really awful, but your sales page isn't there to distract people. It's there to speak like you speak, and it's there to outline an offer that you feel is going to be most beneficial to your ideal client. Okay? So when you're making that offer, what do you have to do? Well, obviously you have to tell them what they're going to get. So what they're going to get throughout the program itself, or with the product that they're purchasing from you. Oh, I've frozen. Frozen. I do a little Frozen dance when I get frozen, so sorry about that. But yeah, so you want to be telling them what they're going to get. Yes, Lorraine. Include the title. Introduce yourself. Use metrics as well as a good photo. Good photo is really important. Tell them simply what you're selling and then jazz it up. And then, you know, actually tell them what they're going to get from the course. Okay, so, you know, if they're going to get weekly calls, awesome. If they're going to get a mastermind, awesome. If they're going to get some kind of amazing welcome packet and a workshop, amazing. I don't know how much of you missed, but I went into amazing workshop and mastermind and things like that you can talk about. But the basic theory is, when you're making that offer, when you're outlining that offer, you want to be showing them what they're going to be getting from that. Okay, so don't just sell the features. Don't just sell, okay, well, you're going to get a weekly call with me and we're going to talk about clarity, or we're going to be talking about your marketing strategy or your visibility and promotional strategy, or whatever it might be. You want to be giving them the benefits. You're going to get a weekly call with me, and that means that I'm going to be holding you accountable throughout the duration of the program. You know, I'm going to be holding you personally accountable. I'm going to be your cheerleader. I'm going to be, you know, making sure that you're responsible for your own success, and I'm going to be excited to catch up with you every week and see how you're getting on. Okay? So when you think about what you offer, what are the benefits of what you offer? Now, you can have hundreds of benefits, and sometimes the things that you see as just being really simple things that come along with it are actually benefits to your ideal client. So again, keep it really simple. Don't try and think too much out of the box here. Keep it really nice and simple, really clear, and really just think, okay, what is the benefit of somebody having a weekly call with me? What is the benefit of somebody being able to join my private Facebook community? What is the benefit of them getting a daily email to keep track of their progress? What is the benefit of them getting scripts or worksheets or PDFs or templates or whatever? You know, keep thinking about that and make sure you're adding that into your sales page copy, because that's the really important thing, that you've got that in your sales page copy, and that you are really showing them and demonstrating on a regular basis that actually this is something they do need, and that it is something that is going to help them. Okay? Then you want to be making sure that it's really clear as to how they're going to do that. Okay, you want to be making sure that you're outlining it so that they don't have weird, crazy expectations, and so that they're not disappointed when they sign up for the course and they think they've signed up for this awesome one-on-one thing, and actually it's just a self-study. Oh, I say just a self-study, but you know what I mean. So make sure that you know how they're going to get the content itself, and that they know too. And if that means that you have to say, okay, well, I'm going to give you 6 videos and I'm going to give you 4 PDFs and it's going to be worksheets and templates, and then you're going to have to upload your homework into a Dropbox or whatever, based on my recent experience with Dropbox. If you're going to use it, probably don't advertise that on your sales page, because I've not had good experiences with it recently. You know, and make sure you're telling them in both the module delivery, you know, how you're going to be delivering the program or service or product, and what they're going to, you know, kind of achieve, what the benefits are of them taking that product, service or program from you. Remember to focus on the overall goal for them, you know, so how is this actually going to change them? Anushka, love it. Dumb question alert. It's never ever a dumb question. There are no stupid questions. There are just funny questions, okay? So Anushka, are sales pages and landing pages the same thing? Actually, that's a really good question. And it's the answer is no. A landing page is designed for somebody to sign up and get something specific, and it's usually for what we'd call an opt-in or a lead magnet, so something that is free. And basically an opt-in or a lead magnet is well known as kind of an ethical bribe. So your landing page is, here, hand me your email address and I will give you this awesome PDF, blueprint, cheat sheet, webinar, whatever, okay? A sales page is for your actual product or service. So a sales page for me, I guess the difference between them would be, a landing page would be, here, sign up for my free ebook. I don't have a free ebook, so if anybody wants to download it, I don't have one, sorry. But, you know, a lead magnet for me might be, download your free ebook. And then my sales page, that would come probably a lot later in that process, would be, here, buy my mini course on how to create the perfect lead magnet. Okay, so basically landing pages are for anything that's free and sales pages are for anything that's paid. That's the simple answer. But no, not a dumb question at all. Great question. Okay, so where are we up to now? We've talked about they need to have a title. We've talked about they need to identify with the pain points. We've talked about the fact that they need to have an introduction. We've talked about the fact that you need to tell them what you're going to sell to them. We know that you're going to have to talk about the benefits and how the course is actually going to be delivered, or the product or service or whatever. Then you need to be thinking, okay, so what else can incentivize these people to sign up? You know, do you give any kind of extras with your purchase? You know, are you somebody that gives bonuses? Personally, I am, because usually I'll do what I call a pre-sale launch, and then I'll do a full launch. And so what that means is that anybody that signs up with me early gets a shed ton of stuff, because they're the ones that are, you know, the kind of, they're being rewarded for being the people that are like, yeah, Jess is awesome, we're going to buy her stuff, so she's just going to give us more stuff and massively over deliver. Okay, so for me, bonuses are kind of important, and they can come in many, many different forms, and I'm actually going to do a completely separate live stream on bonuses, because I'm not somebody that believes in giving discounts monetarily, because, well, actually I wrote a whole blog on it, so if anybody wants to read it, you can go and check it out and see why I don't believe in giving financial discount, but mainly because I've got a whole load of clients to pay full price, and I would be kind of offended, kind of like narked, if I bought something for full price and then somebody else got it half price and I didn't really know why. So that's kind of why that is. But I do believe in giving really, really good bonuses, and those might be things like extra one-on-one time with me, those might be things like a kind of intensive period, those might be things like access to different courses that I'm running, or, you know, lots and lots of different things. But ultimately a bonus is an incentive for them to sign up that doesn't really cost me that much, but actually provides a tremendous amount of value to the person on the other end of the sales page. Okay, so just have a think about what kind of bonuses you would potentially like to add to your course, if any, or program or product, because you can add them with everything. Okay, then what you need to do, after you kind of talked about, okay, you're going to get all this awesome stuff as well, and it's all going to be amazing, and you're going to get loads of extras, you need to be telling them, you don't need to be telling them yet, you need to be giving them a summary and saying, okay, so that all sounds really cool, let's look at what we've got there. We've got a program that is designed for people like you who are feeling X, Y, Z, and this is why I'm the best person to help you, and this is what you're going to get in the product, program or service. This is how it's going to be delivered to you. It's going to be really awesome. This is the kind of overall outcome that you're going to see from taking this program, product or service, and then you're going to give them, okay, this is how much you have to pay for that. Now, I get a lot of people who are like, oh, I don't want to do a big payment button, and I don't want to highlight the payment button because then people will see the price. And I'm like, yeah, that's a good thing, because you want people to look at the price and go, wow, that's awesome. You want them to be able to really think, you know, I'm making an investment in my health, in my business, in my mindset, in my, you know, I don't know, shoe rack, which is something that I have often. I justify my shoe habit way too much, but you do want to be sharing how much your program is going to cost, and you want to be really upfront about that. Okay, now personally, I'm not somebody that likes to make people add VAT or any kind of taxes. That's because I find in my own mind, I'm too lazy to add up VAT and extra charges. So therefore, I know that if I went onto a sales page and someone said, oh, this is going to be $69.99 plus VAT plus XYZ, I'd be like, cool. And I'd probably go out and buy something that was way more expensive just because I couldn't be bothered to do the maths. So you want to be making this nice and simple for your ideal clients, okay? And just tell them the overall cost. If you've got things, like extra taxes and surcharges to work in, add them in before, and this is another question that comes up quite regularly is, okay, well, what if I do a payment plan? Do I have to add more on? The reason that you add more on for a payment plan is not because, you want to grab loads and loads of money and you're kind of like Scrooge or something. It's because actually there are extra costs involved in terms of bank processing fees or PayPal processing fees, depending on what kind of system that you use. So that's the only reason that if you pay in payments, it's more convenient for the ideal client usually, but they do have to pay extra because of the extra processing fees. That's totally down to you to predetermine. But ultimately, when it comes to payment, you just want to make it nice and simple. So have a pay in full option and a pay in installments option, unless your item is less than, I'd say, $397. In which case, if your item is less than $397, don't bother giving a payment option because it's generally not really that worth it. So there you go. So you've got the payment option there. You've made that nice and simple for them. They know exactly what they're buying. They know exactly what they're getting. And then you need to kind of give them a sense of urgency, and we talked about this, was it this week? I talked about fear-based marketing. Might have been last week. But we talked about fear-based marketing, and I was like, yeah, I don't really like that because I don't get involved with fear-based marketing. If people like my stuff, they buy it. If they don't, they don't. I'm not going to force them. I'm not going to drive to anybody's house and be like, buy my stuff. But, I do believe that you should instill a sense of urgency. So, for example, one of the things that I do and that works for me really well is that when I actually launch something pre-sale, I will say, there is a specific time period. It might be 1 week, it might be 2 weeks, it might be a certain amount of people that will get this price and these bonuses because they are taking it early. Anushka, you need to do a training on the pricing. No worries, let me write that down because I want to remember, you can see my cool stack of post-its. I want to make sure that I'm giving you guys the right trainings that are actually going to be useful to you. So let me just write that down. Trainings for next week. Okay, awesome. So, hey Sam, nice to see you. Don't be silly. Better late than never. We're doing things today. We're talking about sales, so it's kind of cool. And it's really handy that you've just joined. And apparently Lorraine has just sent me a photo. I don't know what. Maybe it's like her secret Mr. Big. Lorraine's really into Sex and the City. It's not just like not just a weird reference. But yeah, so I don't agree with fear-based marketing, but it doesn't mean that urgency is not key when it comes to your sales page. So after you've talked about the pricing, make sure it is very clear, make sure it's really easy for them to understand. If you are one of the first 15 people, or if you are somebody that signs up between July 2nd and July 12th, you are going to get a special price, or you're going to get an early bird price, and you're going to get these bonuses. If you sign up after this point, then you're not going to get those, you're going to get X, Y, Z. Now, that's not fear-based marketing, that's to instill a, it's a bit of Canva fun, I can't wait. It's to instill a healthy sense of urgency. Now, what doesn't work when it comes to urgency? If everybody goes to my website, you can see a really, really terrible example of urgency right now because I haven't updated the website in a little while. So if you ever decide that you want to check out my website, check out the page that says, and I think it's the program that says Exceed Your Expectations, where when I originally launched the program, I had an early bird price till September 2015, I think, and then a normal price. Now, obviously, being me and not being that techie and being quite busy and launching other stuff, I have forgotten to remove that little section that says, hey, if you sign up now, then you'll get X, Y, Z. Terrible example, because it looks like I've had early bird open for about a year. I'm probably going to take that off actually this weekend. Now that I've thought about it, I'm like, probably going to take that down. But it's a really good example of bad, early bird length, because you want to, if you're going to make something early bird, if you're going to do a special price, if you're going to do, some kind of pre-sale launch or whatever to generate interest, you don't want it going on for years and years and years, okay? So if you are doing something to instill urgency, have a clear time scale for it, okay? So if that's 1 week or 2 weeks, amazing. If it's a specific amount of people, great. But don't just let it drag on and on and on forever until, until your program is kind of almost retired, because that's just ridiculous. And it also doesn't incentivize them to sign up. It doesn't say to them, oh, okay, well, she's definitely going to pull the program. It just says, okay, well, maybe I'll sign up next week, or maybe I'll sign up next month, or, whatever. So make sure that you are giving them that urgency. Make sure you're being clear about that, and make sure you're just kind of saying, look, you know what, it's up to you. You're totally empowered to make the decision, but here's what you get if you're a quick decision maker, and if you're an action taker, and if you're somebody that actually really wants to work with me. And here's what you get if you are somebody who wants to work with me, but you're not quite sure yet, and you need to take a bit more extra time. No problem with either of those. Also, make sure that you've got your links to any sales calls or discovery calls that they might need to book with you. So for example, if you're doing a program by application only, make sure that the application link is actually on your sales page so that they can apply, rather than sending them to a sales page that looks amazing and they're like, yeah, I'm really fired up and pumped to get involved, and then they're like, I can't actually do that, awkward. So make sure you've got that, and make sure that you have something that says, hey, if you're an action taker, here's where you sign up and pay. And if you're somebody that needs to chat about it, needs to find out whether it really is the right thing for you, then why don't you come and book a call with me, or why don't you jump on Facebook and meet me before you make the decision, so that you know it's the right thing for you. And that kind of gives them the extra reassurance they need. It gives them the warm and fuzzies, and it gives them that extra touch point with you as well if they need it to make a decision. Okay? Awesome. Next thing, after payment, always have FAQs. Yay, FAQs. I love FAQs. For me, sometimes I will put the FAQs before payment, in all honesty, but it totally depends on what you're trying to overcome. So for me, basic things to have in your FAQs are things like program length, call length, refund policy, if you have one, if you don't have one, what they can expect from you or from your product, program or service, how long they can expect it to take, what kind of work that they can expect to have to undergo, are there any extra trainings or anything that would be beneficial, what are they going to do before the program starts, what they're going to do during it, and also, just kind of covering off things that make sure that they are reassured about the purchase that they are potentially making with you, okay? So cover off any frequently asked questions. If you're somebody in the tech industry or in marketing, make sure that your FAQs include basic terminology. So often people will buy stuff and they'll be like, yeah, I thought this was awesome because it said that it was about funnels and stuff, and actually, they were talking marketing funnels and what they actually wanted was sales funnels, or vice versa. So just remember that your audience are there to be taught, and so you do need to keep everything super simple and give them the techie deets if you need to. So last bit really is I guess it's like your final roundup. It's your summary. It's your final ever, like, this is the opportunity. Here it is. It's on the table. I'd really love to have you on board. Come and get it, or I'll see you in the next kind of iteration of it. So make sure that you've got that final summary, and make sure that final summary is giving them reassurance around the awesomeness that is your program, product or service. Okay, so make sure that's like, yep, it's, I'm so glad that you've come to the sales page, I'm so glad that you're here and that you're considering it and that you've read through everything, you've managed to get through all the information, get right down to the bottom. If it's something you're still considering, if you're still on the fence, jump on a call with me and offer them an option for a call, and then put another payment button and be like, but if you are ready, if you know this is 100% for you, and you are just wanting to move forward and get stuff done, here you go. Here's your payment link. Here's the last chance you're going to get at an opportunity at these bonuses and this pre-sale price. Done. And then you want like a nice photo. Maybe of like your dog or something. I would have Max on my sales pages if I could get a photo of him being on. But that is the basic premise of how you write a sales page. Yay! I can't believe how quickly I've literally just whizzed through that. My mouth is drier than the proverbial flip-flop. Which is a terrible phrase. So, are there any questions? Any questions on sales pages? Any questions on why you should have a sales page, or what you can do for your particular product or service program on a sales page, where they're supposed to be, what kind of copy you're supposed to write? I did actually mention earlier, didn't I, about buzzwords. Actually, and I will just cover that quickly because I hate being one of those people that's like, yeah, I'll do that, and then just doesn't. So buzzwords are words, and you can actually find, there is a really cool article online, and it's called like the top 15 words to use in your sales copy or something. I'll try and find the link and post it in the group. But basically it's like a list of hot words that people really identify with. And so in every industry, obviously, some things will change, but generally things kind of stay the same when it comes to writing sales copy. It's why a lot of sales pages avoid words like just, because saying to somebody, oh, this is just $1 million does not make them any more inclined to buy it, because saying that it's just makes them kind of feel like, oh, I feel a bit crappy that I don't just have $1 million laying around, so there are key things that you want to watch in terms of words that you use, but there are also ones that you want to make sure that you're using on a regular basis, so really make sure that you've got your thesaurus there, and that you are looking at adjectives, and that you're looking at positive words, positive reinforcement words, and things like, yeah, it's going to be awesome, and this is what's going to happen. So benefit focused language. That sounded really cool and kind of corporate. I'm like, oh, I'm pleased with myself. Anushka, mine is way too short, and oh well. Do you know what? It doesn't matter. I am not a fan of massively long sales pages, and this is the thing. Your sales page from these tips does not have to be long, just has to take them on the journey. And the basic, I guess, 3 functions are telling them, or identifying them, why do you need this? Telling them why you're going to be the one that's able to give it to them, your experience, I guess, kind of thing. And then sell them the stuff. That's it. Like, it doesn't need to be long. Which ties in really nicely with Jane's question, what length does a sales page need to be? Answer, how long is a piece of string? Like, if you want your sales page to be short, great. If you've got a really, really warm, engaged audience and it's for something low ticket, does your sales page need to be 5 pages long? No. In fact, does your sales page ever need to be 5 pages long? No. If you have a longer sales page, I would say break it up. Make sure that you're using different images and different spaces and dividers to kind of make sure that actually you're not just kind of bamboozling people with lots of tech. I will show you a sales page that I created. This is like Blue Peter. I'll show you one that I did earlier. What I would do if I could find it. Amazing. So I created a sales page for Sellout Success. Here we go. This is the last live round. I'm going to flip you guys around so you can see what it looks like. Got a nice close-up of my face there. Jane, I'd like to get away with a single paragraph. Oh, I can turn it around. Okay, here we go. Awesome. There we go. So there you go. You can see this is the sales page for Sellout Success. Here's my identifiers here at the top. So this is where I talk about imagine what it could do for your business and imagine what it would be like to have an awesome sales process. It was really simple. Here's my lovely little picture. It's my face. Very simple. And my mum took that photo. It's not a glamour kind of thing. It wasn't taken by a photographer. It's literally my mum. We went for a walk in the woods and she did it for me. So it was awesome. Got my little introduction here. And here's where I talk. You can see my metrics. I close 95% of my sales calls with a yes. Awesome. I'm kind of proud of that fact, actually. It's like the one thing that I'm like, yay, I'll sell that all the time. So then I talk about, you know, I might not know you properly yet, but I'm going to take a look at, guess what your business looks like right now. And here's where I kind of really reinforce, you know, this is what you look like and this is where you want to be, but you can't seem to get there. And then I sell them stuff. Here you go, good news, you're in the right place. And after a proven and successful case study, I'm inviting you to join the final live round. And then I tell them what they're going to get. So what I'm going to cover, branding, messaging, sales funnels, closing the deal. And then I talk to them about what they're going to do. So weekly group calls, weekly workbooks, video trainings, sales scripts, private Facebook group. And for early birdies, there you go, there's a bonus there, 2-hour one-on-one sales intensive. Okay, so you can see there how I've done that. It's literally how I've sold them it. This is what you're buying. So this is what you're going to be expected to do as a client, and this is what I'm going to do to make it happen for you, okay, with the bonuses there. The other thing that you can see that I've done there is that I've actually written the value of the bonuses, which actually really helps because then people can see what they're going to get and what it would normally be worth. Then you can see that I'm one of those people that I like to work with the right people every time. So I specify who I want to work with. Okay, so there you go. Now, because of all the value I'm going to be adding, oops, that's my mouse falling apart. So, you know, I want the right people taking part in it. And then I specify, I want you to be a high performance coach. I want you to be an online service-based business owner. I want you to be already making revenue each month. I want you to be an action taker, a high performer, setting big sales goals. I want you to, you know, be somebody who's ready to make serious money while loving what you do, all this kind of stuff, because I do want those people. And then, here you go, I give them payment buttons, and they're huge, and they're pink, and you can see them. Because I'm really, really proud of the fact that people can pay, you know, $7.97 in full or 2 payments of $4.25. It's nice and easy for them. It's easy accessible. And then this is the good bit. With this sales page, it's really not that long. That's like half a side of A4, I think. No, that's A4 when it's kind of written in Word. It's just formatted differently. And then I've got all these cool little testimonials. There we go. There's Helen Packham over here. Her little face. There's Christy Jane. Woohoo. There's Lorraine. There she is. And Tanya. That's Tanya Dantas there. You know, so that's the testimonials. I kind of covered that piece off because you know, this is something that's already been proven. If you've got a new service, obviously you're not going to have testimonials necessarily on there, but if you've got something that's been like a case study or something version, then you are going to have testimonials. And then you can see here, still thinking that it's for you, but you want to check, book a free discovery call with me here. Okay, so I've given them that link, and then again, I've given them the payment link down there. I'm actually quite impressed with myself that I've picked an example that actually sort of does what I've just said. You know, usually the worst plumbing in the house is a plumber or whatever the phrase is, but that one is a pretty cool sales page. As sales pages go. Here we go. Lorraine, dry as a flip-flop. Okay, I was intrigued. Where does that come from? Oh, look, Google. Gandhi's flip-flop, to be thirsty or have a dry mouth. Yeah. So anyway, because obviously I grew up in the forces, like in a forces family, and because I have a forces boyfriend, I use some horrific phrases. I'm really sorry if they come out of my mouth. Gandhi's flip-flop is one of them. I didn't want to offend anybody by saying about Gandhi's flip-flop and my throat being as dry as one of Gandhi's flip-flops, so I just kind of went, yep, throat dry, flip-flop, done. Actually though, that's a really good example of your sales page should actually speak like you. So if people do not have a sense of humour or, you know, don't really like my forces phrases, then they probably wouldn't enjoy my sales pages. I'm okay with that. Anushka, I just fell off of yesterday's ideal client train. You did not fall off of yesterday's ideal client train, not at all. Nobody in this group falls off of my ideal client train, mainly because I just love you all and you're all just flipping awesome. You know, and you put up with me day after day, kind of just talking about everything that goes on in a business, so definitely you're always fine on that. But yeah, you know, that's how I frame out my sales pages. I like to be specific. I like to make it obvious who I want to work with. I like people to identify. Lorraine, your phrases are hilarious. Thank you. I'm glad you think so. I got into a bit of trouble yesterday with my mother when my mum came to me, and this is just a kind of tangent, but my mum came to me and she was like, Jess, I don't really know whether I should buy this pair of shoes, you know, and I was like, why? And she said, oh, well, you know, they're expensive and they're kind of frivolous and, you know, I'm not going to really be able to wear them with that many, like, clothes and all this kind of stuff. And I came out with a cracking phrase from the army and from my New Zealand friends, actually, so I'm going to blame them, Jackie, it's her fault. And the phrase there is, and then the way it was delivered as well was, Mum, your only option is to either shit or get off the pot. And my mother looked at me and went, I have never ever been more disappointed in you. So there you go. If you're looking for awful phrases, I'm full of them. Come my way, I've got hundreds. Some of them involve swearing, some of them don't. There you go. But yeah, so when you're looking at your sales page, just make sure you've got those things covered off. It's really simple. It doesn't have to be complicated. You certainly don't need to pay anybody to do it if you don't want to. If you do want to, great. I mean, it gives you some extra free time. But if you don't, those are the exact things that I would cover off. Just make sure that you know who you're talking to, that you're specific about who your ideal client is, that you tell them what you want from them and what you want them to do. Nicola, that's hilarious. I'm so glad. I was really laughing about it. I thought it was really funny. But my mum was like, no. So there you go. If anybody ever meets my mother, you know, it's more likely than you think. My mum rocks up on stuff all the time. Then, you know, probably don't use that phrase unless she doesn't like it. But that is all you need for a really, really simple sales page. Doesn't have to be long, doesn't have to include lots of fancy things. And you know what? If you can't be bothered to write copy, which a lot of the time I can't, because I just have, you know, no time to do it because I'm always like walking the dog or, you know, on Facebook Live with you guys, do a video sales page. Much easier for you. You can plan out what you want to say. It's going to come across in the right way. People will see you, they'll like you, they'll trust you, they'll see your delivery, they'll see how passionate you are about it, and it will just be awesome. Okay, so if copywriting is not for you, do not worry about it. Just go out and make a video. You know, go out and record a Facebook Live, and then just put that on your sales page. Done. There is no problems here that cannot be overcome. Lorraine, the live stream on mobile is so cool. The little smiley faces and hearts jump around all over the screen. Do you know what? I love it. I love it when people like the stuff on the live stream and stuff, because all over my face it looks like I'm getting little hearts and things. I'm like, oh, this is awesome. Makes me really happy. So there you go. Are there any questions? Any questions on sales pages or how to write them? Because other cool stuff coming up this afternoon, which I'm eager to tell everybody. Like, yay! So if there's questions about sales pages, ask away. Tell me them now. Give me all your questions. Doesn't take much to make me laugh. Nope. Zombie sales page. Love that. That would be so awesome. That would be like, you could do it like Walking Dead style. I was being a zombie, in case nobody knew. My acting skills aren't great. But yeah, so you definitely want to be keeping it simple, keeping it nice and easy, and just doing what you need. If there's any questions, shout me, because otherwise I'm going to be like, have you watched the webinar? So me and Sue did this awesome masterclass yesterday. What time are you telling us the news? Literally in about 3 minutes time. I'm going to whiz and talk about the webinar and what you need to go and watch, because it's freaking awesome. So you need to go and watch the masterclass that me and Sue did yesterday. The reason being is that we detailed our entire sales strategy for the recent launch. We made 20k in 2 weeks. It was awesome. There were some tech issues, major tech fails, and that, you know, I'm crap with technology. I'm fine about that. So if you were on the webinar list and you got an email with the replay and you weren't able to watch it, or you found it really difficult to watch, it was because it was on Dropbox and you had to download it to get the full thing, and some people ended up just watching like 15 minutes of the preview, but you just had to click the little download box and it would have come up. If you got the email and you haven't watched the replay yet, go and check out the link in the group, because it's much easier to use and it's on Vimeo. Yeah, I'm cool. Technologically upgraded it to Vimeo, which means that you just put in a password, and the password is the $, 20, capital K, 2, capital W, for weeks. Okay, so it's in the group anyway, but if you haven't caught the webinar yet, make sure that you do, because it's really, really valuable, really awesome. Lorraine, I'm so glad you watched it and thought it was awesome, because it is, like, seriously, the strategies that we used are all about use Canva, make simple graphics, go out, this is how you sell your stuff, make some money, and then you can all get copywriters for your sales pages. Yay! Anushka's finally got the internet. Woohoo! Woohoo! Selling it. Nicola, I know you guys said you didn't have a list, but I'm alright to assume that all the people who signed up have already known you through the groups. Nope. Nope. A lot of the people, weirdly, that signed up for the masterclass and for our original PDF, we just posted about that in 3 groups. And the group that we got the biggest response in was the Entrepreneur Incubator. And I think there was like 250 people that wanted to download our PDF blueprint. So we literally grew our list from 0 to, I think we have 296 people on there now in 2 weeks. And that was simply by the PDF blueprint that we offered and the webinar that we did. So yeah, it was awesome. Really, really awesome. Not really, not that you guys don't come and hang out with me on webinars, but I kind of don't usually sign you guys up to email lists, because if you want to be on my email list, you can be. And you've gone and found it yourself by now. But, generally in this group, I just kind of share the links, because I'd rather you just meant to join in. Oh, for the people who signed up for the program. No, for the people who signed up for the program, we had some complete newbies. It was a total mix. Some people were complete newbies. Some people were people that had worked with us before, and had just seen the program and were like, yeah, I need to jump on that. And some people we'd never even heard of, never knew, but came to us in the groups and were like, yep, we really want to be in on the founding circle. So total mix. And as with every program that I run, usually there's a complete mix of people I've never worked with before, I've seen around in groups, or they've seen me and liked a couple of my stuff. That was terrible grammatically, but liked a couple of my things. But generally it's a total mix of new people and a couple of people I've worked with before. If you look at this round of sellout success, for example, there was actually 6 people I'd never worked with before. 6 out of 7. So kind of a justifiable. Cool, Nicola. Cool. Thanks for clarifying that. I was wondering. That's really cool. Yeah, totally. It's one of those things. We wouldn't be like, I wouldn't sell you a strategy, or I wouldn't make you do a strategy that I didn't think would work for completely new clients. Like, that's why we did it that way. That's why we launched without an email list, without anything, because we wanted to prove that it could be done, so that we could show you that the strategy we've been teaching for the past year in case studies actually does work, and that it works for totally new people and people who've got more experience. It's just the way it goes. So anyway, if you haven't caught the webinar, make sure you do, because it's really good. The link is in the group, the password is in the group. Go watch it and learn and get some Canva graphics up and start selling stuff. It's going to be awesome. And there's big news. No, I'm not getting married. Somebody did actually message me and say, are you getting married? Is that in the news? No, sadly it's not. So sorry to disappoint you all. There is not going to be a fabulous female entrepreneur's wedding. If there was, though, we'd totally live stream it and it'd be awesome. But the news is not that I'm getting married, and I'm also not having a baby. So again, for the lovely, lovely people that have messaged me and asked if that's my news, it's not. I'm just kind of chubby at the moment. I need to lose a bit of weight. That's why I'm going to the gym, and my boyfriend won't marry me. Yeah. But if you are excited about the news, I'm really excited about it. It's finally here. The news is that, and now my connection goes weak. I talk about being chubby and, like not being able to get my boyfriend to marry me, and the connection goes weak, and then I want to talk about something awesome, and it's like, oh yeah, no. Nightmare. Okay, cool, I'm back. So, exciting news is that I'm launching a membership site. Woohoo! Well, actually, I've launched a membership site. Officially goes live on Monday. It's going to be really cool. There's going to be a shed load of stuff in there, as usual. I've spent a bunch of time on, working on trainings and stuff, and I thought I would let you guys know that I have a membership site. So if anybody's interested and you think that you want to deal with me on a regular basis, and you want to get like weekly trainings and monthly calls and laser coaching and like loads of fun stuff, then hit me up, because the membership site is launching, well, it is already launched, but it's going to be live on Monday. There we go, and now I'm frozen. Yeah. So basically the universe hates my membership site. The universe is like, no, can that? Seriously. This is hilarious. No. There we go, I'm back. I'm live. Oh my gosh. So the universe hates my membership site. Don't worry, that's not a sign of bad things to come. The Facebook Live freezing thing is not an issue. But yeah, the membership site's there. Monday it will be open for registration. It's going to be really cool. I don't have to sell it to you guys. If you want in, you can come in. It's going to be $47 a month if you sign up in the first week, so that's awesome. But basically, you know, there'll be a training every single week, kind of like these, but a little bit, you'll get like PDFs and stuff, and there'll be fillable templates and lots of worksheets and guides and things like that. And there'll also be some kind of cool stuff from behind the scenes in my business that you can take a look at and use for your own. So there you go. That's the membership site. It's coming on Monday. I'll ping up a link in the group if you want to have a look at it. Personally, I'd love to have you all in there. I know that it's more learning and it's more time, and I don't usually sell you stuff, but so I thought I would offer it up in this group first because you guys are my favourite. So there you go. If you want to spend 47, the universe hates that you said you were chubby. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's actually my boyfriend's mum who kind of really got her hopes up, and I put up a Facebook status with a bunch of photos on it this morning that said Sam's making friends with all the kids or something, and I meant baby goats, and his mum thought I meant actual children. And so she was like, oh my goodness, there's going to be a baby in the family. And I was like, oh, I meant goats. Awkward. So yes, it's just a kind of, you know, one of those confusing things. Yeah, or Zuckerberg dictator is not a fan of external activities. Totally agree, you know. But yay, thank you, Lorraine. Look at Lorraine. Congratulations, will be awesome. Yeah, I'm super excited about it. It's going to be really cool. It's only $47 a month, so basically that will be you buying me a bottle or two of wine, which will really help me create a bunch more content for the membership site. If you want to join, hit me up, let me know. Drop me a private message, put it in the comments. I'll make sure that I put a link up on Monday, but it's going to be pretty cool. So that's my exciting news. It's taken me like 2 months of work and a shed load of wine and a lot of chocolate and lots of trainings, but you know, there's going to be stuff in there on social media, there's going to be stuff in there on marketing, visibility, promotion, there's going to be all of my old stuff which nobody even has access to anymore, so things like LinkedIn trainings and, you know, specific ad trainings and things like that. So if you want to join, $47 a month, you can come, you can talk to me and get some love and get a weekly dose of Jess and a monthly laser coaching call with me, $47. Okay, awesome, my lovelies. If you have any questions on sales pages or anything like that, give me a shout, let me know. You know, if you want me to look over things, if you've got sales copy that you want me to check out, do it. Hit me up, put it in the comments, let me see it, and then we can do it. But it won't help the bikini body. No, the wine probably won't, but it will help my, you know, drowning my sorrows over all of my tech problems. So there you go. If you guys need anything this afternoon, please let me know. It's a Friday afternoon. This weekend I'm kind of going to be out a little bit because I'm going to a party that is Thai full moon. So you'll probably see me, actually. I'll probably do a little live stream very quickly, like 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock PM tomorrow. So you can see me in my neon. I'm going to be dyeing my hair some kind of like fluorescent pink. And so you can kind of get a little bit of insider info, and you can see Sam in his Hawaiian shorts as well. Which he'll be really miserable because, you know, he hates being on camera. Awesome. All right then, my loves. I will see you really soon. If you have any questions, need anything, please just get in touch. Have a wonderful Friday, and I will see you live tomorrow in my like neon, but officially Monday at 12 noon GMT. Yay! Bye for now.